All right. Welcome back to the channel. Let's um, let's just get right into it on "Fallen" by by Maya out of Interscope Records. "Fallen" was the last record that Maya did under the Interscope Records contract that completed in '04. And I'm gonna give you the specifics so you understand specifically why Maya's career collapsed, as far as in the major market, why it collapsed. When she did Fallen, that was the third album. Her first album was 1.7 million. The second album was 1.2 million, and then Mood Ring was basically listed as a fail. About 400,000 copies. That's all it sold. But let's focus on Fallen. Fallen was not written by Maya. But when you go back to the production side, if you remember, Maya went to the two the two brothers that lived in Baltimore, Maryland. Now you know that's where Maya's from. She's from Maryland. Now think about it. Why would Interscope Records from California send the track production of Fallen to One Up Entertainment in a small basement studio in Baltimore? Ain't nothing wrong with the basement studio. We'll rock the basement studio. But in 2004, you got an artist coming off of two albums, Maya, Fear of Flying, and now Mood Ring. I'm not, as Interscope Records, they're not going to send that to a basement studio in Baltimore, Maryland. They're going to keep that at like the Hit Factory, or they're going to use some major studios through Priority Records in Los Angeles. So now let me tell you how it ended up at the basement studios in Baltimore, because that's what Maya wanted to move that money around. See, by the time it got to the third album on Mood Ring, Maya had already been making demands. Maya was already like, oh no, you're not going to keep writing these songs, and I'm not going to be getting writer's credit. I'm going to write my own songs. I'm going to produce my own tracks. I'm going to get these mechanical royalties. Make no mistake, Maya wanted the writer's credit. She was not a songwriter. She was a hook singer. She was always a hook singer. That's how she got her start. I mean, she sang hooks that, were really remakes from the 70s. Don't ever think Maya was a singer-songwriter. No, she was never no singer-songwriter. No, she was a hook singer. She sang hooks. So how did Fallen end up at the basement studios in Baltimore with the two brothers under One Up Entertainment? This is the one where she talks about she creates the vegan pies, and that's where she got the recipe from their grandmother. That's because they're from the same area. So Maya is moving that money around. She's delegating with Interscope Records. She's telling Interscope Records, no, 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 I got my own production. Oh, no, 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 I got my own track. Don't worry about that. And Interscope is like, wait a minute, why are you messing with the formula? We done already sold two albums at millions of copies. We're gonna keep the formula the same. Same writers, Missy Elliott, Scott Storch. I even think Lauryn Hill was involved in one of the songs on Fear of Flying. I think she had something to do with one of those songs, if I remember correctly. But anyway, by the time you got to Fallen, Maya was jacking. Maya was like bucking. She was straight bucking. Like, she was bucking with Interscope. Like, I ain't doing that. No, I'm keeping that money. No, give me that budget. I'll use that. No way Fallen on the production side is going to end up at the basement studios at One Up Entertainment. It's not possible. Now let's talk about the results. Where did we end up with Fallen? Keep in mind that Maya was from the MTV BET era. So you either were watching a Maya video on BET or you were watching a Maya video on MTV. But that was your only options. And those videos had really nothing to do with Maya. Maya didn't own those videos. Maya didn't write those songs. Those were all owned by Interscope Records. Those songs were produced, written by Teddy Riley, Missy Elliott. They were the ones in the business. That's why you don't see Maya rocking it with Missy Elliott at all. They not best of friends. Because she looks back on it like you could have put me on some writer credit. You know, from whatever, from Love Is Like Whoa. You know, they could have chopped it up, gave each other like, 5%, 10%. But Missy didn't do that. Missy Elliott didn't do that at all. So back on to Falling. Since you think Falling was this great song. Falling only charted number 51. 51 on Billboard. 2 unconsecutive weeks. Falling was a fail. Now, it did do a little bit better on the R&B charts. It charted number 35 on the R&B charts for a little while there. But for the most part, that was the parting of ways of Interscope and Maya. And that was the last single that was ever released from Maya from a major label. Even though she went on and got the $1 million advance from Motown Records, she never paid them back. Motown never put out an album. So the last single that Maya ever put out was Falling. Falling was a fail. Falling didn't, no. You don't want to be number 51 when you're coming off of 2 albums and million. You need to at least be top 10. So number 51, it was time to go. And the reason why you saw a collapse in Maya's career with the major labels is because she did not want to play the game as a hook singer anymore. She already had collected the fame. You're going to have to give her that because of all the videos they playing. She already took the show on the road and getting show money. Of course, back in 05, 06, she was getting a lot more bigger checks than she is today. But you weren't able to offer her anything that she wasn't already getting. So she want the publishing. She want the writer's credit. Even if compromising the producers and compromising the writers compromised the end product. The end product wasn't selling millions. Mood Ring was essentially, with the exception of You by Marthea Jackson. I love that woman. I don't know whatever happened to that woman. I ain't never met her, but man, I love Marthea Jackson, man. She wrote a song called You, and it's on Mood Ring. I recommend you listen to it. That's my favorite song on the album. But Mood Ring was a fail because Maya infused more control and she bucked more on the major label. If Maya would have stayed to the code and been like, hey, we all breaking bread. Nah, I can't send let me give you an example. Watch this. You see the two guys she sent it to the One Up Entertainment at the Basement Studios in Baltimore, Maryland? Go back to her new album she put out, the one that got Grammy nominated, called Smooth Jones. If you look at Smooth Jones, there's a conscious record on that album. It's a conscious record by a guy named Phil Ade, and it's called Hold On. Hold On, conscious record, Phil Ade, Smooth Jones. He's right there from, her hometown. So I mean, I'm not knocking it that Maya was trying to put people on from her area, from the region that she's from. But what I'm saying is it wasn't time yet. It wasn't time yet. When you start putting people on like that, it's after you already secured the bag long term. Mood Ring was not the time for that. She should have played her position and been like, hey, okay, Missy, you got me on the songs, good. Okay, Scott Storch, you got me. I don't know where Scott Storch was at that time, but she should have played it that way. And she should have let Mood Ring hit bigger and then come back and be like, okay, I finished my 3 albums with Interscope. Let me renegotiate a new deal. But instead, because she infused and left out the key players, won't do no business with Teddy Riley. You know Teddy Riley's the one that wrote Take Me There. He wrote that and produced the whole song. Maya didn't write none of that. Fallen, Maya didn't write that. Love is Like Whoa, Maya didn't write any of that. These chart-topping singles from the first three albums, Maya didn't have anything to do with. She was just the singer of the song, the performer of the song. She didn't create those songs. But anyways, that's my time. Like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna find out who this real Maya Marie Harrison is. Don't worry about that. I promise you that.